Good evening, bonsoir. Bienvenue à la séance ordinaire publique le 16 décembre. Welcome to the regular public meeting on December 16th. Please rise for the national anthem. Avant qu'on débute, on va faire la reconnaissance territoriale. Nous reconnaissons avec respect l'emplacement de la ville de Bathurst en tant que terre ancestrale du peuple Mi'kmaq. Aujourd'hui, ces terres sont hôtes d'une population diverse comprenant personnes natives, du territoire et autres patries. Nous reconnaissons aussi avec respect l'histoire et les diverses cultures du peuple Mi'kmaq de la région. We respectfully acknowledge the city of Bathurst as the ancestral land, homeland of the Mi'kmaq. Today, these lands are home to a diverse population of indigenous and other peoples. We also acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Mi'kmaq in this region. Voilà l'approbation de l'ordre du jour, Madame Parker.
That the agenda be approved as presented with an additional item 9.9 public transportation.
Okay. I'll need someone to move. Councillor. It's starting well. Councillor Knowles. Seconded by Councillor Branch. I was going Branch first and Knowles for second. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. Ms. Parker, do we have any declaration of conflict of interest?
No declaration of conflict of interest were declared.
Okay. On va aller à l'adoption du procès verbal 4.1, séance ordinaire publique tenue le 2 décembre 2024. Madame Parker.
Que le procès verbal de la séance ordinaire publique daté du 2 décembre 2024 soit approuvé comme distribué.
Parfait. J'aurais besoin de quelqu'un de proposer. Councillor Scurry, secondé par Councillor Leblanc. Tout ça en faveur signifié en disant oui. Oui. Contre. Motion adoptée. 4.2, special public meeting held on December 9, 2024. Ms. Parker.
That the minutes of the special public meeting dated December 9, 2024 be approved as circulated.
All right. I'll need someone to move. Deputy Mayor Willett, seconded by Councillor Legacy. Ready for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Consent of agenda. We're going to public and administrative presentation. Donc, on a une présentation pour transport public par la Commission des services régionaux. Nous voilà. Allô? Bonjour, Madame Jessica. Bien, je vais te donner le micro. Merci. Oh, OK, vous avez le micro, vous êtes bon. Et ça va apparaître sur l'écran. Merci d'être avec nous ce soir.
Merci. Hello everybody. Just to say, I'll be doing the presentation in English, but please do not hesitate to ask any questions in the language of your choice, and I will answer accordingly. Yes, tonight I'm here to present the public transportation project. So the project overview, we want to do a pilot project, phase 1, for a minibus service. We want to purchase 3 buses. We would like to start the bus routes in Bathurst in this phase 1 of our pilot project. And that phase 1 is for 3 years. Now, Phase 2 would be to expand further out in the region. I would like to mention, though, that this project is for 3 years. At year 3, we will have statistics and information and facts that we can use to make the decision as to where we would go for year 4 or phase 2 of the project. But for now, everything that I have tonight, it really is for the first 3 years for this pilot project. The first step really would be to create the implementation committee. I would like to have a committee in place which consists of municipal administration, public works, the police service, the fire departments, and et cetera, and et cetera. I really want to have a committee that represents your city and that will be able to work with me so that we can have a public transportation service that is safe and that is adapted to your needs in your city. The service would be a fixed line connecting residential areas and the busiest travel points. Like the main stop would be the CCNB, the hospital, grocery stores, pharmacies, medical clinics, government services, and so on. So we really want to bring people to the main points of services that they need on a regular basis. Now, as you can see, this is an example of what it could look like, the fixed line. But that fixed line, I want to be able to collaborate with the implementation committee so that they are the people on the grounds. They are the experts for the city, so I want to be able to consult with them to see, well, is it reasonable to have a bus stop at a certain intersection? Will it impact snow removal or the fire services? I really want this service to be done properly and safely for the clients and for all the city workers that would have to work around it. But as you can see, it is a fixed line from, I would go from about West End Sport area, if that gives you a better idea, all the way to the industrial park in East. And we do have stops at all the major points. So the bus stops. Bus stops would give access in a 5 to 10 minutes walk from any point served. So anybody who would take the bus would be able to stop at points where they only have to walk 5 to 10 minutes to get access to the grocery store or a medical clinic or the college, for example. The stops would be located near intersections and place of interest and safe boarding too. That is very important. And usually bus stops have about 300 to 500 meters between them, but it can go up to 1 kilometer depending on what is on that particular route. So for high traffic stops, I will have bus shelters. And when we think of high traffic stop, you can imagine the hospital, CCNB, and then I would like to consult with the implementation committee to see where else they would see a need for a bus shelter. Every bus stop, however, will have signage so that they can easily see that, yes, this is a bus stop. What stop is it and where is it going after this stop? Okay. The types of minibus that we want to purchase are the 20-seater, the commercial minibuses, and we will be purchasing 3. You can see what they look like. Those are the typical minibuses. The proposed scenario that you received is so that we can operate 6 days a week from Monday to Saturday and 12 hours a day. And as I mentioned, this is a proposed scenario. So as we go forward, we will be able to see, is there a demand for more? Should we change our hours? But we want to start here, and then we will be able to adapt to what the clientele shows us that they need. So pricing and equity. So we want to have a fixed fee so that it guarantees fair access to the service to all citizens. And the proposed fee is $3.50 per trip. However, yes, we will have, like most bus system, you have the multi-purchase cards available, like a pass for the month or a 10-trip pass and all of those. Now on to logistics. So the bus system will be managed by the RSC, and however, I will have that implementation committee that would stay on as our public transit committee afterwards, so that we're always collaborating. We are always giving updates, reports as to what is going on, etc. So we are all up to date. We will coordinate the public transportation, so the bus system, with our existing community transport, the Dial-A-Ride, if that rings any bell there, service that we operate. So we will coordinate the two of them together. The team would consist of a manager, a dispatcher, some full-time and part-time drivers, and we would like to start operating in the fall of 2025, but that is depending on equipment supply. A minibus right now, you have a 6 to 12 month waiting period before you can have them. So yes, we would like fall 2025, but we will have to see with the availability of the minibuses. On to numbers now. I just want to mention that the numbers for 2025, it is not a full year. It's only for 6 months, okay? And that is also depending on if we do get the buses in time. We will not charge if we're not operating. So it will all depend on when we do get those minibuses. So as you can see, for 2025, total revenues are for $325,000. The expenses are for $407,000. And so your municipal contribution that was voted in your budget last month, I believe it was, is $82,000. And you do see the cost per $100 evaluation here. 2026, that is 12 months of operation. The total revenues are $525,000. Expenses are $747,000. So your municipal contribution for 12 months of operation will be $221,000. I would like to mention that I had too many numbers to put all into one slide. So the next slide will be explaining the revenue side of it, and the portion that we do get from RDC and the Regional Service Commission. So if we continue on to 2027, I've got that year is also operating 12 months. I've got total revenues of $500,000, expenses for $768. So your municipal contribution would be $265,000. And year 2028 is revenues of $440,000, expenses for $791,000, and your municipal contribution would be $350,000. Now, if we do go to the next slide, the revenues, so I am getting revenues for this pilot project from the RSD, Regional Service Development. And first year they offer to cover 40% of operation. The second year they offer 30% of operation, and the third year they offer 20% of operational cost. Now you can see there is income that comes from the users, the clients, and also from chartering our minibuses. As you can see, 2025, 26, and 27, we do get funding from SDR, but 2028 is when that stops. After 3 years, they won't finance anymore. And on the RSC side, the RSFF is 50% of net operation. So as you can see, it goes up every year, and on year 2028, when we no longer receive any funding from RDC, our contribution for the Regional Service Commission will be $350,000, exactly the same as what your municipal contribution would be. And if we continue on, a few notes. So in 2025, your municipal contribution of $82,000, that represents your contribution for transportation services at the Regional Service Commission. So there is a part of it that goes for our community transport, the dial-a-ride service. That part is $17,000, and there is a part that goes for the bus service, which is $64,000. And just so you are aware, so for the bus service, it would be only Bathurst that would be putting money towards it. But for the community transport, it is split. The cost is split with the city of Belleville. Now, another note, the breakdown for the cost of purchasing the assets, like the buses, the bus shelters, the signage, all of that, we have approval from the federal program for 80% of it, and the RDC will finance 10%. And the other 10% comes from your municipal contribution.
Which is part of the 82,373.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. Well, it would technically be part only in the 64.
$699.
Yeah, $699, because the other part goes to community transport only. And now, if other community members join the service at a later date, they will have to reimburse the city of Bathurst for the cost of the assets, the remaining 10% that you will be paying towards the assets. at that time, we will be able to make the correct calculation as to how many months you have invested in the project, what are the formulas and percentage, but it really does, the big impact would be like what time they will be joining at. Is it after a year and a half, 2 years? So that will be the biggest impact on the reimbursement. That was it. I don't know if there are any questions.
Perfect. I do have some questions before things get lit up.
Yep.
So I found out that because Miramichi has their own bus service, but Miramichi is with transit, right? They're not by themselves. They're with transit like Moncton, Fredericton, and St. John, right?
Yes, exactly. Miramichi, the city of Miramichi does not operate a bus system. They have what is called Miramichi Transit, and that is a complete separate entity. And they are in the same category as the transit system for Moncton, St. John, and Fredericton, and so they do get some type of federal funding.
And they no longer take any other municipality.
No, they do not.
They do not. Okay, because we had looked into that. They no longer take any other municipality. They've locked it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are unable to access that type of funding.
Okay. Now, with the funding for the buses that you've been approved, so the government has approved for 3 buses.
Yes.
Okay. So that program is closed as well. So
it closed last winter. And
so no new municipality can apply if they hadn't already applied?
No, you cannot. And right now, we've been approved, and we have 2 years to use the funding. After that, it will be canceled. And I don't see any other type of funding of that sort for another at least 4 years, I would say.
Okay. If you can go back to your budget, because when I was looking at the costs, so
this one or that?
yeah, that will be fine. So in there, when you talk about revenues, are you talking about any marketing for wrapping the buses?
No. I went with the worst case scenario and the most conservative budget I could do. We will be offering marketing opportunities to wrap the buses and the bus shelters, but I did not include any of those revenues in here.
Okay, so that means that the cost could be lower.
It could be lower, yes.
Okay.
But I wanted to show the worst case scenario. This is what it would cost.
And that's with an increase for the gas as well.
Yes, it is. So the gas, to be very, very conservative, I did my calculation with gas at $2 a liter and with an increase of 5% every year.
Okay. All right. So we do have a question by Deputy Mayor Willett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So looking at this program, after 3 years of the statistics show that the high cost is going forward, if it's going up, so we can bail out of it?
Yes.
Without a problem. The other question was about advertisement. The other one is dial-a-ride.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we had been told at Service Commission that they were going to be run separately, not together. So.
Oh, well, I would like to be able to use the same employee that I have for admin assistant to also do admin assistant work for the transit system.
So, but are the funds going to be
no.
public transit, and the funds going to be separate?
Yes, it will be completely separate for funding. It's just I would like to be able to reduce cost by sharing employees when it is similar tasks.
The other one, the SDR.
Yes.
Something happens, we don't get the buses for 2025, that we only get them at the beginning of 2026. Are we going to be able to take that funding and bring it to 2028?
I believe we will be able to.
Okay.
Yes. it is still, I still have to discuss and negotiate with them, but they are aware that buses can take 6 to 12 months to come in. And they are doing this type of financing right now with the Acadian Peninsula and the Edmundston area as well. So they see what the challenges are right now with that.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Right. Councillor Anderson?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a few questions. I really wish we would have seen more of a breakdown when it comes to the expenses, because, you know, you've got your insurance cost, you've got your maintenance cost, you've got tires, you've got, you know.
Those were all sent in October.
I don't remember seeing it. I don't
October
know.
16th, I wasn't here.
I
No.
believe Mr.
Did you
Willett
get it at the Regional Service
and
Commission,
maybe
Michael? You
Mr.
and,
Branch, I
Daryl?
think you were present at that presentation?
Yes.
And the documents we had sent were the complete breakdown of it?
Yeah, I was there. The only thing, we didn't even have the oil changes and stuff like that, so.
Okay, well, the numbers, I can send them to you, that's not an
Because
issue.
people at the Regional Service Commission may have received those numbers, but the City Council here, I don't believe received anything,
Okay,
because we really haven't had any information when it comes to the bus system at all. So, yeah, like, I'd like to see where the expenses are coming from, just to make sure that it's a detailed list of expenses that are realistic.
Yes, that's
because
not a
these
problem.
expense costs could go a lot higher than what's predicted.
I can tell you if it does, just to say, so I've used the transit system in Fredericton and the one in Miramichi to compare, to make sure I had correct numbers. And then I also used a consultant, Vector 5 that they're called. They mostly do transit system in Quebec and in Nova Scotia, so I used them as well. And I did go to Statistic Canada for different transit system on a national scale, just to be sure that my numbers were in line with those.
Okay. I think that we would all like to see it, though.
Sure, that's not a problem. Yeah.
Additionally, like questions like where's the buses going to be housed, where are they going to be maintained, things like that. Is that going to be? Are they going to come to? Where is?
They would be housed in Bathurst.
Okay.
And for now, I've made a few calls to find rental space for buses. And so I do have the information, but since I was not ready at the moment to actually rent them, I did use the rental cost in my budgets, but I don't have a rental contract at the moment.
And like, what about who would be doing maintenance on the buses?
We do have 2 shops around here that can do the maintenance on those types of buses, so they would be the one. Yep.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
Councillor Branch?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just for the record, that meeting in October, that was a working session. So when I asked about sharing those numbers, like, I had a lot of questions about the budget. And when I discussed bringing it back to council, I was told just because that was a working session and it wasn't final, we expected other numbers to come. So that's why they weren't shared.
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious, when Councillor Anderson asked where it would be located, you had mentioned Bathurst for now. So does that mean you would plan on locating it somewhere else later on, or?
No,
Okay.
I said for now, I'm sorry, but
okay.
they would be located in Bathurst.
Okay. And you don't have a schedule right now for when the other regional partners would join?
I do not know.
Okay. And do you have any projections going out, like past? Do you have like 5-year projections or anything, or projections that would show what would happen when the whole region is incorporated?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I did have those 2 years ago, but then that project was voted no, and we voted to go smaller first. So
Yeah.
yes.
But it would still be nice to get the full picture, right? So we know what we're locking ourselves into for the future.
But although this here is only a pilot project for 3 years, so if you you would only be locking yourself for 3 years for now. I would really like to have that pilot project, the stats and the facts before we do go further for year 4.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, like,
Yes.
what's the cost distribution when the whole region is incorporated? Like, what portion of the operating cost would Bathurst be paying when all of our regional partners are brought in on this?
That would have to be determined by negotiation between all the regional partners.
So you don't have an established formula?
Nope.
Because
Because you would be the people negotiating with the other municipalities to establish a cost-sharing formula that you are all in agreement with.
Because right now, there's one that's been put in place, and it's based on your fiscal budget.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So that's why
yes.
Belle has a price that they have in ours. So if we would have went to Belle at the city limits of Beresford, if they agreed, they had their cost portion there. So it's based on the fiscal budget that we had. I mean, I wasn't there, but this is what I was told.
Yeah.
So if they choose not to move forward, this is what we would pay. If they choose to join us, let's say in year 2, we might even pay less than that because they would have to pay their portion to join because there's additional stops, so they would pay for that as well. So going through with the 3-year, like, we don't know. That's why we're doing a 3-year pilot project. So let's say for Bathurst, if we realize that we need to add an extra 2 stops because we're seeing that it's not practical at this stop, there's changes. So as we're going along, we're going to make these changes. If we go into year 2 and then year 3, and then let's say Beldoon decides they want to join, well, that's going to be a complete different scenario. As of now, I can tell you that the only people that were interested for the pilot project was Belle and Bathurst, not the rural districts and not Beldoon at this time. If they want to join, they would have to approach, and then we would have to have that discussion.
And you're saying that the cost share is based on budget only? It's not based on budget and population?
I wasn't at that meeting. You were at that meeting. All I'm being told.
What I used was based on budget and population for now, but that has to be negotiated between whoever the partners will be.
So is that what it would be for the pilot project?
Dana's here.
Like,
You're
has
saying
that-
budget
has that been
only?
negotiated now?
Both? Oh, it's both? Okay. So we brought Dana here just in case.
Yes.
So
Okay, so that's
population and budget.
so that's what's been negotiated for the pilot as far as Bathurst and Belle Bay?
Yes.
Okay.
But for now, all the numbers that I did show today, it's only Bathurst.
Yeah, and again, that meeting in October was a working session, right? And we wanted both, but our partners wanted just one. That's why I wanted clarification.
Okay.
Would it be possible for you to share the original study with us? Like, I believe there was a study done with
Yes.
a consultant.
Yep.
I'd also like to see that. Do we have an idea of how many residents in Bathurst are within a 5 to 10 minute walk of the proposed route? Like, would the study show us that?
It would not, no. It not like a specific number of people, no.
Okay.
Not
Yes.
for each bus stop.
I guess that would be important too, right? Like, we have 15,000 residents, and if we're putting in this route, it'd be nice to know how many are within walking distance of it.
Yes, so what we did was we did go put the route where we had major residential areas, where the biggest population was.
Yeah. So the RSFF paying
Yeah.
50%, so you're saying that comes from the Regional Service Commission?
Yes,
So essentially, Bathurst will be paying a large portion of that money anyway, because that's funded by the members, or?
it's not the one funded by the members.
Yeah, I think
It
Dana,
comes,
you want to
it's
take
the
the mic,
Regional
Dana?
Service Assistance Fund that comes from the province.
Okay.
So the only part that comes from the municipality would be the municipal contribution that we have here.
Okay.
Did you want to add?
No, basically, that's what it's coming from the province, the assistance fund. So it changes every year. That's based on, I believe, the population as well as the fiscal base. So, and that's how the province determines who gets what.
And is that implemented permanently, or is there a sunset on that? Or?
This is something we don't know as of, I believe it, for the next 3 years, we have the percentage, but,
No, actually 5 or more.
or there, she knows more.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have it for 3 to 5
Yeah.
years. Okay.
And next year, I believe for 2025, we have over $600,000 that we're going to be receiving. That's going to serve all the different departments.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation, and I look forward to getting the additional information.
Sure.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Knowles?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thanks for the presentation.
You're welcome.
Is it gaining interest in other municipalities across New Brunswick and Atlantic Canada, this federal initiative?
Yes.
To your knowledge, yeah? It is?
Yes, we in New Brunswick. There's only we would be the one before last to use it.
Okay.
Everybody else has been approved and they have started their project.
Okay.
I think the Restigouche area and us are the last 2 ones.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, the Peninsula, they already got their buses. They've already started the
Yeah.
pilot project. They're
Okay.
keeping going. And Edmundston are going ahead as well. And Edmundston's going the Grand Edmundston.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's a 6 to 12 month delivery on buses? Okay.
Councillor Anderson?
Thank you. Just one question, Jessica.
Yes.
Playing devil's advocate. So I'm assuming that this service has to be run through the Regional Service Commission because of the funding from the RSFF, correct? Because like what would be the advantage to have this run through, if this is going to be a service that services Bathurst city limits, what would be the advantage of having the regional service run this for us as opposed to us running it ourselves?
The RSFF, yes, that one pays 50% of
So we
your-
wouldn't be entitled to that
You-
if it wasn't run through the regional service?
No, you would
commission?
not.
Okay.
And also the startup of it, the SDR,
Yep.
they will not finance a project that does not have a regional
Okay, perfect.
scope in the
Yep.
future.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right. Another thing to take in consideration as well is we qualified for the Federal Accelerator Fund, and part of that program is that we are to provide transportation. That's part of the actual presentation in the Accelerator Fund, is having transportation for the citizens. That was part of their pre-requirement. Okay, any other question? No? OK. Merci beaucoup. Si vous pouvez juste rester encore qu'il y a d'autres questions, parce que là, on va avoir quelques personnes qui vont venir discuter.
Thank you very much. And tomorrow morning, I will send the detailed budgets and also the study that was done. Thank you.
Merci. Je demanderais à M. Roger Viennot de CNIB de venir prendre parole.
J'ai fait ma lettre en français, j'espère que c'est correct.
Oui, français, on a la traduction simultanée.
OK. Je suis le responsable de programme pour l'INCA au Nouveau-Brunswick. Un citoyen homme de la région et en plus avec une déficience visuelle, plus précisément avec une rétinite pigmentaire, une condition qui me fait perdre progressivement la vue au fil des années. En mars 2020, j'ai perdu mon permis de conduire et cela a bouleversé ma vie d'une façon dont je n'aurais jamais imaginé. Aujourd'hui, je suis dans une situation où je ne peux plus me déplacer indépendamment. Je dépends sur mon conjoint, de ma famille et mes amis pour les choses les plus simples. Aller à l'épicerie, me rendre à tous mes rendez-vous médicaux ou même visiter des amis. Chaque jour, je me heurte à la réalité de l'isolement que ma déficience visuelle impose, et ce n'est seulement une question de confort, mais de dignité. Il n'y a rien de plus frustrant et décourageant de ne pas pouvoir être autonome, d'avoir constamment le besoin d'avoir un besoin d'aide des autres pour faire des choses si simples et si banales que de sortir de chez soi. Je suis ici ce soir pour vous parler de l'importance d'un transport en commun pour notre communauté, particulièrement pour les personnes vivant avec un handicap, mais aussi pour tous ceux, comme par exemple les 400 autres personnes comme moi qui habitent la région de Belle-Baie et de Bathurst, qui n'ont pas d'autres options pour se déplacer dans une région comme la nôtre. Le manque de transport en commun dans la région de Bathurst est une grosse réalité dure et souvent invisible. Pour une personne comme moi, il n'y a pas plus de choses difficiles que d'être dépendant des autres pour tous mes déplacements. Cela affecte non seulement ma capacité à travailler et à participer pleinement à la vie sociale, mais aussi pour mon bien-être mental et émotionnel. L'isolement est souvent une souffrance silencieuse et je ne suis pas seul à le vivre. Comme dit plus tôt, nous sommes passés 400 citoyens, dont nous savons à l'INCA, et beaucoup d'autres citoyens, des citoyens âgés, handicapés, et même ceux qui n'ont pas les moyens d'entretenir un véhicule sont confrontés aux mêmes difficultés de moi. Un projet pilote de transport en commun dans la ville de Bathurst pourrait être une solution révolutionnaire. Il ne s'agit pas simplement de créer un service de transport, mais de permettre à des centaines de citoyens de retrouver leur indépendance, de leur permettre de se rendre à leur travail, d'aller à des rendez-vous médicaux et de participer à des activités communautaires, ou même simplement de passer du temps avec leur famille et leurs amis sans avoir à demander de l'aide. Je vous parle de cette question avec le cœur, car c'est une question de vie quotidienne, pour moi et beaucoup d'autres. Je sais ce que c'est de se sentir prisonnier de ses propres limitations. Je sais aussi qu'il est difficile d'entrer dans la tête de ceux qui n'ont pas vécu cette expérience. Mais je vous demande ce soir de vous imaginer même une seule journée de devoir dépendre de quelqu'un pour chaque mouvement que vous faites. Imaginez de devoir dépendre sur n'importe qui d'autre à chaque fois que vous sortez de la maison. Je sais c'est quoi, ça fait presque 5 ans que je le vis. C'est épuisant, c'est frustrant et c'est une situation que beaucoup d'entre nous vivent dans la région de Bathurst et de Belle-Baie. Ce projet pilote n'est pas seulement une question de transport, il s'agit de justice sociale, d'inclusion et de respect pour ceux qui sont souvent oubliés dans les décisions de la ville. Un système de transport accessible nous permettrait à nous, en situation de handicap, de participer pleinement à la vie de la communauté, de contribuer, d'avoir des opportunités d'emploi et d'épanouissement personnel. Cela permettrait à ceux qui ont été laissés de côté de rester connectés et de ne pas être exclus. Je vous demande donc de soutenir ce projet, de voir ce qu'il pourrait représenter pour nous, pour les personnes âgées, pour ceux qui n'ont pas de voiture et pour tous ceux et celles qui aujourd'hui à la marge. Ce projet pourrait changer des vies et rendre Bathurst une ville plus inclusive, plus solitaire et bien plus accueillante pour tous ses citoyens. Alors, je vous remercie de m'avoir écouté et s'il vous plaît, à me considérer l'impact que cette décision aura non seulement sur moi, mais sur toutes les personnes qui, comme moi, attendent ce changement depuis si longtemps avec impatience. Nous avons besoin de votre soutien et j'espère qu'ensemble, nous pourrons rendre cette ville plus accessible et plus humaine pour tout le monde.
Merci beaucoup. J'aimerais inviter Gilles Cormier, le nouveau directeur de l'Association multiculturelle Région Chaleur. Nouveau rôle. Grand changement.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Nous, à l'association, c'est sûr qu'un service transport en commun comme ça, c'est un projet qui serait très utile. C'est un incontournable pour nous à l'association. J'ai fait sortir quelques statistiques qui peuvent vous aider à prendre votre décision. On a fait un travail sur les 12 derniers mois. Nous, à l'association, on a des gens qui arrivent de tous bords, tous côtés, que ce soit réfugiés, nouveaux arrivants, des étudiants au collège communautaire, peu importe. Ils passent par nous pour savoir qu'est-ce qu'est la région et puis on les prépare à les faire vivre la réalité de Bathurst et du Canada, du Nouveau-Brunswick, appelons-les comme qu'on veut. Mais dans les derniers 12 mois, on va baisser ça, on a au-delà de 1000 clients qui sont rentrés chez nous, que ce soit des résidents permanents, des travailleurs temporaires, que ce soit des étudiants, des visiteurs, des réfugiés, des demandeurs d'asile. Mais dans ces 1000-là, je peux vous dire qu'on a 700 adultes, puis au-delà de 200 enfants. Ça veut dire que c'est des familles. Eux, c'est un must, transport en commun. 99,9% de ces gens-là qui passent par l'association arrivent avec une valise. Aucun véhicule, aucun moyen de transport. Donc, qu'est-ce qui se passe dans ce moment-là? C'est sûr que c'est un service qu'on offre à l'association. Mais dans le dernier 12 mois, le personnel a fait au-delà de 1600 sorties avec ces clients-là. Puis c'est tous des services basiques. Aller à l'épicerie, ouvrir un compte de banque, aller chercher leur numéro d'assurance sociale, avoir un rendez-vous au médecin, aller au docteur, pas au médecin, au dentiste, peu importe, aller à l'hôpital. Souvent, après 6 mois qu'ils sont ici, il y en a qui sont vaillants, comme dans d'autres endroits. Ici, dans la salle, il y en a qui sont vaillants, puis non, on est d'autres qu'on est des suiveux. Ben, c'est la même chose avec eux autres. Il y en a, ils vont se débrouiller. Au bout de 6 mois, ils vont s'organiser. Mais il y en a d'autres, ils vont toujours rappeler à l'association, pouvez-vous m'amener à la bibliothèque? Pouvez-vous m'amener encore là? Ça fait partie de notre service, mais un service transport en commun comme que vous pouvez offrir, je pense que ça permettrait au personnel de pouvoir être efficace dans d'autres endroits. Puis je pense que si on réussit à rentrer 1000 personnes par année dans la région de Bathurst, ils s'installent tous à Bathurst. Ils veulent rester ici parce que tout est proche et commun. Donc, je pense que c'est un service pour nous qui serait très essentiel. Puis, je dois vous avouer qu'il y a une statistique que je n'ai pas sortie là-dedans. Il y en a des familles qui viennent s'établir dans la région. Puis, une des raisons pourquoi ce qu'ils disent, parfois, on a, comme là, dernièrement, on a 2 familles. Ils ont quitté la région. Ils sont partis rester dans les grandes villes, à Québec, à Montréal, où ils peuvent rester avec du service, tout qu'est-ce qui est le basic, qu'est-ce qu'ils ont besoin. Donc, pour nous, si vous voulez qu'on ait de la rétention encore pour pouvoir garder, faire grossir la ville, bien, je pense que le service transport en commun, c'est essentiel pour nous.
Puis, oui. Gilles, pour les étudiants, ça, c'est seulement les étudiants qui ont été chercher des services de l'association.
Exact.
C'est pas nécessairement tous les étudiants au CCNB, parce qu'on le sait que dans les 400-500 étudiants qu'ils ont, tu as peut-être 20% d'eux qui ont été à l'association. Exact.
Il y en a qui nous trouvent, il y en a qui, c'est comme j'ai dit tantôt, il y en a qui font seuls, puis il y en a d'autres qui vont attendre ou qui vont rester là, mais c'est sûr que c'est pas tous les étudiants, puis il y en a, je suis sûr qu'il y en a d'autres qui arrivent de d'autres régions aussi, là, tu sais, j'ai nommé il y en a qui arrivent, c'est des travailleurs temporaires, il y en a permis fermés, permis, tu sais, mais il y a aussi, il y en a d'autres qui arrivent de d'autres régions.
Oui, interprovinces.
Interprovinces. Donc, il y en a des fois qui sont au Québec, ils viennent ici. Donc, ça arrive parfois aussi.
Okay.
C'est bon?
Merci.
Merci.
On a Vitalité. Donc, je ne suis pas certaine si c'est France, Nive, qu'est-ce qui... Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour. Madame la mairesse, membre du Conseil municipal, citoyenne municipale de Bathurst. Mon nom est Carole Baudette. Je suis la directrice de la logistique et des cheminements passant pour la zone 6. Je vous remercie pour cette opportunité de vous parler d'un enjeu crucial pour notre région. L'absence d'accès au transport en commun et ses répercussions sur les nouveaux arrivants, notamment les employés issus de l'immigration internationale du réseau de santé Vitalité. Présentement, Le réseau de santé Vitalité compte environ 150 employés issus de l'immigration dans la région de Bathurst et nous prévoyons accueillir 75 familles en 2025. Le recrutement international en santé, un enjeu clé, crucial à notre capacité de maintenir un niveau de soins optimal sur la population. Pendant cette croissance, apporte avec elle des défis majeurs, particulièrement en matière de logement et de transport. Les nouveaux arrivants sont souvent contraints de s'installer dans des régions éloignées, faute de logements abordables à proximité de leur lieu de travail, qui est habituellement l'hôpital. Le coût d'un taxi aller-retour entre le centre de ville de Bathurst et l'hôpital peut atteindre jusqu'à 30 $ par jour. Si on calcule cela par mois, la facture s'élève à 600 $ pour ceux et celles qui travaillent à temps plein. C'est beaucoup d'argent, de l'argent qui pourrait plutôt être pour payer des frais de garderie, acheter de l'épicerie et autres besoins essentiels. Il faut comprendre que cette absence de transport en commun n'affecte pas seulement la rétention des employés internationaux, mais aussi l'intégration des étudiants et les autres travailleurs internationaux dans notre région. Mettre en place un service de transport collectif serait un atout pour le réseau, pour nos patients et pour la municipalité, en venant répondre aux besoins croissants d'une communauté diversifiée et en plein essor économique. Nous espérons compter sur votre appui vers l'implantation d'un transport public dans la région afin de renforcer l'interactivité et le dynamisme de notre belle région. Je remercie les membres du Conseil municipal pour le temps accordé ce soir. J'ai confiance que vous verrez toute richesse que comporte l'investissement dans un système de transport public. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Bon, on va retourner au point, je pense, 9.8 par après. On va continuer. So we will continue. J'apprécie vraiment que vous preniez le temps de venir discuter. Comme vous savez, ça fait depuis que j'ai été élue comme maire que je dis qu'on devrait avoir transport en commun dans la région. Surtout que là, on est rendu au point où il y a seulement Bathurst puis Restigouche qui ne fait pas partie d'un système de transport avec soit les autres CSA ou avec Public Transit pour le Nouveau-Brunswick. Je pense que c'est notre temps de s'embarquer avec le reste. We will move over to finances, donc finances. 7.1, accounts payable total for November 2024. Ms. Parker.
That the accounts payable totals, including payroll, for the month of November be approved as follows. Operating, $1,069,458. Capital, $86,363, for a total of $2,543,253.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Conseiller Leblanc, seconded by Councillor Branch. Before we go to the question, Mr. Pettigrew, or do you going to break a detail? Okay, I'll give you the mic.
Thank you, Your Worship. Following a summary of disbursements for the month of November 2024. On the Capital Fund, just a sec here, getting a little old here. On the Capital Fund, Roy Consultants received a payment of $14,791 for consulting services on various projects. St. Isidore Asphalt received a payment of $71,752 for Reardon Industrial and Foley paving, for a total of $83,363. In the operating fund, New Brunswick Municipal Finance Corp. Received a payment of $1,488,532 for repayment of debentures and long-term borrowing. NB Power received a payment of $173,579 for electricity. Irving Energy received a payment of $27,163 for bulk diesel and oil. St. Isidore Asphalt received a payment of $18,471 for various aggregates for road work. Modern Pumps and Metals received payment for work on lift stations number 6 and 17 pump rebuilds for $35,757. Schiller Regional Service Commission received a payment for the quarter 4 contributions of $56,375. Soft Choice LP received a payment of $37,681 for yearly software renewals. Pro Construction Inc. received a payment of $17,805 for various construction work. Grey Bar Canada received a payment of $17,240 for various supplies. Robichaud and Brideau Contracteurs Limité received a payment of $22,770 for refuse collections for Ward 2. Wex Canada received a payment for fuel of $16,500. Other recurring payments of $646,117 include animal control, repair supplies, and promoter settlements for a total of $1,069,458 in the operating fund. Total payroll for 4 pay periods was $1,387,432 for a total in November of $2,543,253. That is my report, Your Worship.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Mr. Pettigrew? All right, we'll go to the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 7.2, transfert de fonds de fonctionnement général au fonds de réserve fonctionnement général. Madame Parker.
Be it resolved that Council authorizes a transfer of $400,000 from the General Operating Fund to the General Operating Reserve Fund.
All right. Sorry, talking to Mr. Pettigrew. I'll need someone to move in second. Councillor Scarry, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Madame Marie-Ève, est-ce que vous aimeriez rajouter un petit quelque chose?
I can start.
You can start? Okay, I'll go to you, Mr. Pettigrew.
Thank you, Worship. We do quarterly projections. So the month in December, we estimated that we roughly have $400,000 left. So to allow a 2025 usage, because normally it'll go into 2026 to use. So the Finance Department, we're looking at making a transfer to the reserve fund, which would allow us to bring back a project in 2025 that will be able to do the work in 2025. So this allows a quick turnaround for money in and money out.
All right. Do we have any questions? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 7.2, transfer from utility operating fund to utility operating reserve. Ms. Parker.
7.3.
Oh, sorry. Transfer from general operating fund to general operating reserve. 7.2.
Utility operating reserve.
Okay.
Be it resolved that Council authorizes a transfer of $200,000 from the Utility Operating Fund to the Utility Operating Reserve Fund.
Okay, so which one we did? Because that's, yeah. So we're 7.2?
3.
Okay, all right. Mr. Pettigrew.
Thank you, Worship.
Numbers are not matching here. Okay.
Thank you, Worship. This is a similar motion this evening. There is some money with extra revenues that we have. So to allow usage in 2025, we allow a transfer to move over for the, you can see this next one is divided into 2 components, so it's divided into 2 different funds, but this will allow a project to be brought back to Council in 2025 for use in the year of 2025.
All right, so I'll need someone to move and someone to second. Councillor Legacy, seconded by Councillor Branch. All right, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Transfer from utility operating fund to utility capital reserve. Ms. Parker.
Be it resolved that Council authorizes a transfer of $200,000 from the Utility Operating Fund to the Utility Capital Reserve Fund.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Knowles, seconded by Deputy Mayor Willett. Mr. Pettigrew.
Thank you, Worship. This is again similar to the previous motions. We have a capital fund that allows for capital work. So they're divided into operating funds and capital funds, and there's a motion for $200,000 for that same amount to be transferred to the capital fund.
All right. We have a question. Conseiller Leblanc.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Juste pour clarifier un peu dans les citoyens ici aussi. Ça, c'est des argents qu'on met, que des projets qui auraient venu en 2026, qu'on a un petit peu d'argent de côté, dont c'est certains budgets d'opération-là qu'on met dans les réserves pour emmener les projets en 2025. C'est bien ça?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. So some of these we did have extra, Miss Desilets might have specific projects where you can see where there's an increase in the revenues, but it's to allow a quicker use in 2025 versus the regular budget process is if there's a surplus, it's only be allowed to be used in 2026, but we're aware that it's there, so we're going to transfer it to be allowed to use in 2025.
Okay. Yeah, it's because it only allows me to have so many mics. I'm technician here at the same time. All right, un instant. Je pense que vous avez le micro,
oui.
Vous êtes prêt.
Oui, parfait, c'est ça, exactement. Dans le fond, au niveau légal, on peut juste reprendre, si on fait un surplus, c'est ce qu'on s'attend de faire, on peut juste le récupérer dans 2 ans, donc en 2026. En faisant un transfert à la réserve un peu à l'avance, ça nous permet d'avoir l'accès à l'argent même en janvier. On va prendre le temps, ce qui était marqué, c'était plus au le département de Transportation avec Matt, de prendre le temps de s'asseoir pour évaluer certains projets qu'on veut faire au lieu de, entre guillemets, se garrocher en 2024 pour tout dépenser le surplus qu'on s'attend de faire. Puis aussi, juste pour aussi, la raison pourquoi que, dans le fond de l'utilité, c'est divisé en de operating puis le capital, c'est qu'il y a une certaine règle qu'on ne peut pas mettre plus que 5 dans la réserve opérationnelle. Donc, vu qu'on était proche d'avoir 5 du budget précédent, donc 5 là, le budget précédent est en 2023, on aurait maximisé la réserve en faisant un transfert de 400 000 dans la réserve opérationnelle. On a fait un transfert de 200 000 opérationnel, 200 000 capital. Donc, avec capital, on n'a pas le choix de faire des projets en capital, donc on va avoir un 200 000 réservé pour ça. Puis, avec l'autre 200 000 operational, on peut payer des dépenses opérationnelles comme des salaires et tout ça, ou on peut aussi faire un transfert pour faire des achats en capital. Fait que, c'est ça.
Parfait, ça répond. Ça va? OK. Pour la question, tous en faveur signifier en disant oui? Oui. Contre non? Motion adoptée. Je vais fermer quelques micros. Bon, OK. Bathurst Aquatic Center, 7.5.1, additional operating subsidy. Ms. Parker.
Be it resolved that an additional operating subsidy in the amount of $100,000 be dispersed to the Bathurst Aquatic Center for the year 2024.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Branch, seconded by Deputy Mayor Willett. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Subvention conditionnelle pour le remboursement. Madame Parker.
Be it resolved that Council approve a conditional grant in the amount of $55,800 plus any applicable closing interest to repay the remainder of the retrofit loan for the Bathurst Aquatic Center during the year 2024.
All right, I'll need someone. Councillor Scary, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 7.3, conditional grant. Ms. Parker.
Be it resolved that a conditional grant of $80,000 be awarded to the Bathurst Aquatic Center in 2024 for the capital purchase of a new heating, ventilation, and air conditioning HVAC system, as well as boiler upgrades.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Branch, seconded by Deputy Mayor Willett. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Subsidy. Ms. Parker.
Whereas members of Council agree to provide financial support to the Bathurst Aquatic Center to assist with operational expenses, and whereas members of the administration of the Bathurst Aquatic Center must agree to provide reasonable financial information to the City of Bathurst upon request, and whereas the City will be receiving a budgeted amount of $208,558 from its regional municipalities, be it resolved that a subsidy in the amount of $630,000 be dispersed to the Bathurst Aquatic Center for the year 2025.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Knowles, seconded by Councillor Scary. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. We fall under municipal laws. Draft resolutions, 2024 grants distribution.
That the grant distribution be approved as follows. $2,000 to the Terry Fox Elementary School Breakfast Program.
All right. Before we continue moving forward, you received the letter that came from the Terry Fox School. So, Ms. Parker, we have another request from Elle that will be coming in this evening was that last week when I was in here? That was last week, okay. So how much do we have left in the account?
With what passed last week, we have $15,800 left in the discretionary grant fund.
Do we have any other requests from anybody before the year end with that money?
I have not received anything.
Okay. So if we don't use it, money's there for grants. So I know that the committee has discussed for $2,000 to be towards the breakfast program. If I'm sure council have received the letter from the Terry Fox School. Based on what they have there, even with the fundraising that they did in September, they've run out. They are in dire strait for breakfast program, and some of the kids are in dire strait for meals for lunch. Some of them they also feed during the day. Deputy Mayor Willett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think maybe we should probably increase that amount and also probably look at an ask that came in for 2025 if we have funds left, and probably pass one of those now because this is our last meeting. So
The only thing is that if we bring in an ask from 2025, it has not been put on the agenda, right, Ms. Parker? So we don't have any information, or can council decide?
Which one was it?
I was thinking about the Royal Canadian Legion that had asked for.
So the Royal Canadian Legion had asked for funding. Well, there's quite a few asks that we have next year.
I don't have any of the documentation with me. I just have the number that they requested.
Okay, well, then
So
I'd
do you
say
know how much they requested?
15,000.
They asked 15,000. That's to repair the kitchen and the appliances and
I
everything.
don't have the details.
All right.
well,
Okay. I want to bring it to council because we do have $15,800 left over, and we do have an opportunity to be able to give more to a school program. Councillor Knowles?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just for clarity, has the grant committee, do they have this information, the requests, or
It
to
came
make,
in
to
and-
make the decision?
Oh, okay.
I know they're a committee, and I trust their judgment and all that. I just want to know that they were aware of these, or
For the
These
2025,
recent
they haven't
requests?
received it yet.
yeah, 2025 for
Yeah.
sure not, but
Have they received it yet?
Not the 2025.
No, not yet.
okay, thank you.
Councillor Anderson?
That goes specifically to Terry Fox.
It would go specifically to Terry Fox.
So my thinking, and if we have $15,000 left over, we have a lot of schools that are in need to help with breakfast programs and feeding children during the day, because there's many kids that's the only meal that they're going to get in the run of a day. Why can't we take that remaining $15,000 and divvy it up amongst some of the schools? Especially the younger schools, maybe, like, just because, like, I know it's only $15,000,
Yeah.
but schools within the city,
We
I
could
would
look at the
support that.
elementary schools, yeah.
I would support that.
Okay. Councillor Branch?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was kind of thinking something similar. I was thinking if we have $15,000 and the Legion asks for $15,000, we could give that to the Legion, and then that would give the other schools an opportunity to let us know their state, and then we could look at the other schools if we're making a donation to one. Maybe there are other schools in Bathurst that are in as bad or worse shape than Terry Fox, and they just didn't think to send a request in for a grant.
That's why I'm suggesting splitting it up and divvying it up, because nothing against the Legion, but if I'm going to decide on feeding a child or
No, I
donating to the Legion, the children are going to win every time.
I agree. That's why I was saying if we were donating to the Legion, we could do that now, this year, to free up the money for January. That's all. I wasn't choosing one over the
Yeah,
other.
no, I know, but I'm just thinking about how quickly they need the money, and if it's something that we can wait on to look at for next year. You know what I mean? Like,
I read the letter, but I have to confess I don't remember the dates, right? It was a few days ago that I read the letter.
Yeah, they've run out already.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we are lit up. We have Cité de l'Amitié, we have Académie Assomption, we have Parkwood, we have Terry Fox that are elementary. So we have 2 French, 2 English that are elementary. Councillor Scarry?
Being on the grants committee, thank you very much, Your Worship. Being on the grants committee, when that was presented, when we received the notification of the request from Terry Fox, that's definitely a priority. Is the food program for the students that can't afford to have a good lunch provided for them. Based on the information, having the 4 schools, what I would suggest we probably do would be to take it to maybe $2,500 for each of those 4 schools. Or even, I mean, again, it's totally up to council if they want to disperse of that $15,000 towards the breakfast program. But I definitely feel that it would be very good for us to make a sizable donation to that. Not that the Legion is not a good point, but that would be coming up in our 25 grants request. So I would be all in favor of going all in for the schools, based on what our esteemed council colleagues would like to see happen.
Okay. Terry Fox has 317 kids they spend 365 a week. So if we were to divide that, so I could see with that many kids, but Académie Assomption has about 79 kids. So we would have to, you know, so the money can last longer. Maybe if council is in agreement and you're in trust, we can reach out to the schools and see. And then, you know, maybe give less to a smaller school, but give more to a bigger school. Conseiller Leblanc?
Merci, Madame la Mairesse. I'm going to say this one in English. Again, this was presented to to our committee, the Grants Committee. We debated on the amount. I mean, obviously, we'd have given the whole thing to the school, but we understand there are other children. So the reason we came to that number, we debated 20 or 2,000 or 2,500, and then it was like, let's just at least do 2,000 for now. And since there will be 13,800 left after this donation, by the way, right? It's not.
It doesn't get carried over and in 2025.
No, that's what I'm saying. The reason why we did this was because it's not right to give to one school and the other schools not know that because they have programs. Cité de l'Amitié has it, and they have programs, and it's just not right to give it everything to one and then the other 3 or 4 schools, and we weren't exactly sure how many schools and how many had these lunch programs. And that's why it was presented this way. Again, if council has questions, I really wish they would ask us, or else this grants committee is absolutely useless. We've taken all of those questions in mind. We thought about all the children, which is why we didn't want to give it to all one school, because there are other schools that probably are in need also. So I just want to reiterate again that the grants committee doesn't just sit there and throw darts at the wall and say, here you go. There's thoughts put behind this, and we'd really appreciate it if questions were asked. Thank you, Councillor Anderson. That's exactly what we wanted to do, is to spread it over schools. And I agree with Councillor Scary. Yes, a Legion, great idea, but I'll take a hungry kid any day in front of, well, quite a few things, to be honest. So that is how the thinking was done, and we even thought that if we had information from the other schools, worst case scenario, I believe we're able to make a vote for the disbursement of it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Pettigrew, but I believe we're able to even make a vote over electronically to disperse the remaining amount, if that would have been the case.
I've given you the mic, Mr. Pettigrew.
I'm not sure about the voting. I can't vote.
Can't vote.
Can't
No.
vote through an email.
So we can make a vote tonight to reach out to the other schools and disperse the amount that way.
Could
Would we allowed to do? Are we allowed to do it that way?
could we come to an amount, Mr. Pettigrew, for Terry Fox, but then have that money carried in January, that we could be using it knowing that it's going to be put towards for the breakfast program for the schools for 2025? I'm looking at our city solicitor. Is it a lost cause, or can I keep that money? Ça se fait-tu? Ça a-tu déjà été fait? Je vous donne le micro. Après ça, je vais... And I'll go to... OK. Numéro 1, attends. OK, parfait. Vous avez le micro.
Je pense que c'est exactement pour cette raison-là qu'on faisait des transferts à la réserve un petit peu plus tôt pour pouvoir se servir de ces fonds-là en 2025. C'est certain que s'il y a si on finit dans le budget global à faire un surplus, ces fonds-là vont juste être disponibles en 2026.
Donc, on pourrait... Si le Conseil accepte de donner 2 000 à l'école, puis là, on prend la balance pour le mettre dans le transfert des réserves, puis on le ramène dans la nouvelle année?
Peut-être, si l'objectif du Conseil est de donner 15 000 on peut peut-être avoir une motion qui établit un don de 15 000 à être distribué selon des discussions avec les districts scolaires, peut-être, pour conseiller la meilleure façon de les distribuer.
Oui. OK. OK, ça fait du sens. Je regarde notre greffière en train de planifier. And my apologies, Councillor Legacy. I know your button was on, then I went to the staff, so I'm going to give you the mic.
That was my suggestion.
That was... All right, OK. On va prendre quelques minutes. Elle va l'écrire vite fait, là. On the go, move forward. And is council okay with that? So while she's writing it up, is council okay with that? That we would, okay. So we would reach out. Deputy Mayor Willett?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And that's the reason that I suggest to give it to Legion. It was to make sure that we didn't end up with a surplus and end up going somewhere else. So instead, keep it in a grant. So I'm okay with giving it to the kids too. So.
Okay, then we'll be able to look at the population of the school, how many kids, and try to figure it out and then go from there. Okay.
This isn't the motion yet. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So council would approve the distribution of $15,000 between Cité de l'Amitié, Terry Fox Elementary, Parkwood Elementary School, and Académie Assomption based on student population. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'll read it as the motion now. That the council approve the distribution of $15,000 between Cité de l'Amitié, Terry Fox Elementary, Parkwood Elementary School, and Académie Assomption based on the student population.
All right, I'll need someone. Councillor Scarry, moved by Councillor Scarry, seconded by Councillor Branch. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Bon, on a trouvé une solution sur la fly. Yeah, I know, we're good. Okay. Appointment to committees and commission. Ms. Parker.
That the commissions and committees appointments be approved as follows. For the Bathurst Aquatic Center Commission, Councillor Stephen Legacy with administration Ryan Wilbur. For the Bathurst Public Library Commission, Councillor Ricky Hondas with administration Monique Nolan. For Daly Point Nature Reserve Commission, Councillor Jean-François Leblanc with administration Lisa Noel and Matthew Abernathy. Under administration committees, Bathurst Sports Hall of Fame, Councillor Ricky Hondas, administration Jacob Button. Business Development Committee, Municipal Growth and Economic Development, Councillors Stephen Brunet, Michael Willett, Penny Anderson, with administration Todd Pettigrew, Chris Legacy, Amy Lynn Parker, Matthew Abernathy, Donald McLaughlin, and Marc-André Laplante. Emergency Measures Organization, EMO, under councillors, Mayor Kim Chamberlain, Councillor Daryl Branch, Deputy Mayor Michael Willett, and Councillor Stephen Legacy. Under administration, all department heads. The Planning Advisory Committee, under councillors, Councillor Penny Anderson, with administration Donald McLaughlin. Under ad hoc committees, Dangerous and Unsightly Premises Appeal Board, Councillor Dale Knowles, with administration Donald McLaughlin. Under Grant Committee, Councillors Stephen Brunet, Mike Scarry, Jean-François Leblanc, and administration Amy Lynn Parker. Ad hoc committees, Regional Water Service, Councillors Ricky Hondas and Dale Knowles. Under administration, Matthew Abernathy, Sonia Gauvin, Todd Pettigrew, Marc-André Laplante. Under Titan Working Committee, Councillors Penny Anderson, Ricky Hondas, Daryl Branch, and Mayor Kim Chamberlain. Administration, Todd Pettigrew, Ryan Wilbur, and Marc-André Laplante. Under Community Liaison Committees, Bathurst Advisory Committee for Persons with Disability, Councillor Daryl Branch, with administration Matthew Abernathy. Bathurst Arts Society, Councillor Stephen Brunet. Bathurst Heritage Trust Commission, Councillor Stephen Brunet, with administration Matthew Abernathy. Bathurst NB Trail, Councillor Mike Scarry, with Andrew McGlagan from administration. Coronation Park Committee, Councillor Penny Anderson, with administration Andrew McGlagan and Renee St. Pierre. Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation, Councillor Stephen Legacy, with administration Chris Legacy and Ryan Wilbur. North Tetegush Recreation Center, Councillor Mike Scarry, with operations staff as administration. Youth Council, Councillor Stephen Legacy, with administration Amy Lynn Parker. For the associations, AFMNB, Mayor Kim Chamberlain with Deputy Mayor, and City Representative Marc-André Laplante. Regional Service Commission, Mayor Kim Chamberlain with Deputy Mayor Michael Willett, and City Representative Chris Legacy and Todd Pettigrew. UMNB, Councillor Jean-François Leblanc, with alternate as Mayor Kim Chamberlain and City Representative Todd Pettigrew.
All right. Councillor Anderson?
Just a point of correction, for Coronation Park Committee, it's no longer Renee St. Pierre, it's Nat Bepperling.
Okay. I'll need someone to move in second. Moved by Councillor Legacy, seconded by Councillor Knowles. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Payment of invoice, Town Suite. Ms. Parker.
That members of council authorize a payment of $131,792.42 plus tax to Town Suite for the 2025 annual subscription invoice.
All right, I need someone to move. Second. Councillor Branch. Need someone to second. Councillor LeBlanc. All right, before we go to the question, Mr. Pettigrew, is that just standard?
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, this is our municipal software. It's does our finance, work orders, inventory, and purchasing services for the whole city. So it's our annual subscription for the year 2025.
Do you have any questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 9.4, P004-24, Animal Control Services. Ms. Parker.
That proposal P004-24 for Animal Control Services be awarded to the Animal Shelter Bathurst Incorporated for the amounts of $137,715.50 in 2025, $141,846.96 in 2026, and $146,102.37 in 2027 for a total of $425,664.83 plus tax.
Okay, I'll need someone to move in second. Councillor Scary, second by Councillor Legacy. Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 9.5, T012-24, San Ann Street Upgrades 2025.
That tender T012-24 St. Anne Street Upgrades 2025 be awarded to LCL Excavation for a total of $4,100,610 plus tax.
Okay, I'll need someone to move in second. Moved by Councillor Branch, seconded by Deputy Mayor Willett. Mr. Pettigrew?
Thank you, Worship. We'll go through to Mr. Abernathy, your city engineer.
Okay. You have the mic.
Thank you, Your Worship. So we're very happy to be awarding this project. Something was supposed to go ahead last year, so looking to get it done next summer. We'll be looking for a commencement date or somewhere around the early June is expected, but they haven't had any pre-construction meetings or anything, obviously, yet. It hasn't been awarded. So schedule and everything will be presented to residents and business owners once that information becomes available.
Okay. And that would be to go from St. Peter's, like, all the way up, right?
Yep, to the CN Rail Bridge, yeah.
Right up to the CN Rail, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Councillor Legacy?
I seem to remember that the original proposal also included Chaleur Street. Is that no longer happening?
So what we ended up doing this time is tendering both projects separately. St. Anne Street we're able to fit within the $5.3 million budget. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to fit the Chaleur Street portion in that. There is some money left over, obviously, since the tender is $4.1 million with some contingencies in engineering. We're probably looking at somewhere around, excuse me, close to $4,850,000-ish, probably at the end of the day on that project. So there'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of $350,000 to $400,000 left over in this specific budget. We'll be looking for ways to try and find more funding to get Chaleur done. It's been tendered. It has not been brought forward because we don't have the money at this time, but we'll be looking for ways to try and get that money from both the feds and the provincial government and move forward if we can. But as of right now, this is the only project we'll be able to go ahead with.
Do we have a ballpark price what we would be looking at for that?
I can't really divulge it right now because it's publicly been opened, but we haven't brought anything to you yet. So the price is reasonable. It's I'm honestly not really sure what I'm allowed to say about that project right now, but yeah, it's I think it's within the realm of possibility that we can get it done. Yeah.
I think what's unfortunate is that last year when we went in for 2024, we had $5.3 million, which we felt was quite a bit for 1.3 kilometers. And I think the lowest bid came in at 8.9 for 1.3 kilometers to do water, sewer, and culverts and paves. So just show that we can only do, and I mean, that's how many meters, you know, to be able to get done for $4.1 million. You know, with 270 kilometers in the city of Bathurst limits, that's not even a half a kilometer right there for $4.1 million. It's difficult to get streets done.
Yeah, and I think it's indicative of the new market condition. I mean, there was 6 bidders for the project. It was a very competitive process. There was the next lowest bid was quite close. So great to see multiple bidders on these projects, and Shiller Street as well. There was multiple bidders with good pricing for that as well. So, well, good pricing. It's current market pricing is what it is.
Okay, which is good. All right. Okay, we'll go to the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Lease renewal, Promenade Waterfront, Ms. Parker.
That the leases at the Promenade Waterfront for the following businesses be renewed for 2025. Bathurst Art Society, Caress Aesthetic, Frostbites, Juanita's Creations and Alterations, R&J Boulangerie Artisanale, Out of the Closet Boutique, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to sign all related documents on behalf of the city.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Deputy Mayor Willett, seconded by Councillor Knowles. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 9.7 P2023-02 Policy of Attending Municipal Related Conferences, Boards, Committees, Commissions, Professional Development, and Social Activities. Ms. Parker.
Whereas, City Council wishes to ensure adequate representation and provide all council members an equal opportunity, and whereas, it is the policy of the City of Bathurst to reimburse elected officials who are required to travel on city business, be it therefore resolved that the members of council approve the modification of Policy P2023-02 entitled Policy on Attending Municipal-Related Conferences, Boards, Committees, and Commissions, Professional Development, and Social Activities as attached hereto.
All right, I'll need someone to move in second. Moved by Councillor Scarry, second by Councillor LeBlanc. Go to the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Lease agreement, Old Post Office. Ms. Parker.
That council members approve the lease agreement between Old Bathurst Post Office Preservation Project Limited and the City of Bathurst as discussed in camera on December 9, 2024, pursuant to Section 68 of the Local Governance Act, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to sign all related documents on behalf of the city.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Councillor Scarry, Councillor Knowles, seconded by Councillor Branch. Have any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We have the additional item that we're adding.
9.9.
9.9.
Can't remember what I called it. So item 9.9, public transportation. That members of council for the City of Bathurst support proceeding with the public transportation services through the Regional Service Commission.
All right. I'll need someone to move. Deputy Mayor Willett. Need someone to second. Councillor Knowles. We'll go to the question individually. And Councillor Branch.
Shouldn't we wait till we have the information and do an analysis?
We know what it's going to cost. We have the budget costs already, what it's going to cost us for 2025, 2026, and 2027. We need to order the bus to be able to move forward. And when this was presented a few weeks back, we said that on the meeting this evening, we will vote whether we're moving forward or not. I think there's enough information that's been given this evening to be able to go to a vote based on what it's costing council or the city per year.
I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions, but I guess.
Yeah. So we are going to the vote to move forward. So we'll go individually. Councillor Scarry. That was Councillor Legacy. Wrong way. I'm looking at you in person that way.
Like Councillor Branch, I'm a little hesitant on not having the full information. I do want to support public transportation, but whether we go through the RC or do that ourselves, I think we'd be better off doing a proper analysis. So I would motion to postpone this vote until we get those reports.
Okay. There's a motion to postpone the vote, seconded by Councillor Branch. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go to the vote on that one. Anybody in favor to postpone the vote? Say aye.
Aye.
Motion against, say nay. Nay, okay. Okay, so we have 4 postpone, 3 nay. Okay, so we will bring it back in the new year in January. Meanwhile, we'll be able to provide some additional documentation, but this will be brought back early in January, because moving forward, in order to order the bus, the longer we wait, the longer we have no buses. So next thing you know, we won't even have public transportation in 2025, which is unfortunate to me. I think there is enough information here this evening, but council decides. Okay, motion carried. Ms. Parker, do we have anything from administration?
There's nothing from administration.
Do we have anything from committees?
There's nothing from committees.
Okay, so mayor's report. I have a few things I'd like to add. So this one is related to the Acadie Bathurst Titans, dont les Titans Acadie Bathurst. Nous sommes au fait que divers reportages médiatiques émis concernant la vente de la relocalisation des Titans Acadie Bathurst. Du côté de la municipalité, nous n'avons pas reçu aucune communication officielle, ni de l'organisation des Titans ou de la Ligue de hockey junior maritime Québec, quant au statut du dossier. Donc, pour nous, en ce moment, c'est difficile de faire un commentaire quand on n'a pas reçu aucune confirmation. J'ai fait quelques appels aujourd'hui, encore rien de confirmé. So we're aware that various media reports concerning the sale of relocating the Acadie Bathurst Titans. As far as the municipality is concerned, we have received no official communications from either the Titans organization or the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League as to the status of the file. So for us, and as for me as mayor, it would be premature for us to comment on the matter to media until we get actual confirmation. So at this time, it's not that we do not want to comment. Until we hear it from either one of them, we cannot speculate. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been reached by media to say it's a sure thing and there was no sale. C'est pas la première fois que je me fais contacter pour avoir des réponses, puis qu'on me dit non, non, je te dis, ça va arriver, puis la vente se fait pas. Jusqu'à ce qu'on reçoit quelque chose de concret, malheureusement, il n'y a rien qu'on peut dire. On another note, the City of Bathurst and its vested partners invite the community for the City of Bathurst to the community engagement session in relation to the various services offering for individuals afflicted with homelessness. This event will take place this Wednesday evening, December 18th, at the KC Irving Regional Center from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Paul Ouellet Room. Representatives from the following organizations will be present to inform citizens of their roles in providing support services to individuals experiencing homelessness, as well as to answer questions from citizens. So the people that will be there will be Provincial Department of Social Development, New Brunswick Housing Corporation, New Brunswick Addiction and Mental Health Services, Bathurst Emergency Shelter, Bathurst Warming Center, and the City of Bathurst, dont la Ville de Bathurst et ses partenaires vous invitent à une séance d'engagement communautaire portant sur les diverses offrant aux personnes sans abri. L'événement aura lieu le mercredi le 18 décembre 2024 au Centre régional KCI, de 18h à 20h dans la salle Paul Ouellet. Les représentants des organisations suivantes seront présents pour informer les citoyens de leur rôle dans la présentation des services d'aide aux personnes en situation d'itinérance ou à risque et pour répondre aux questions aux citoyens, dont on va avoir le ministère provincial de développement social, Société d'habitation du Nouveau-Brunswick, Service de traitement des dépendances et de la santé mentale du Nouveau-Brunswick, Centre d'hébergement d'urgence Bathurst, Centre de réchauffement de Bathurst et la Ville de Bathurst. Donc, nous, on va être là. En rajoutant de ça, avec l'augmentation de la capacité du centre de réchauffement actuel, est une amélioration significative et bienvenue. offrant un service, un environnement chaud et sûr pour les personnes sans abri à Bathurst. Nous sommes également heureux que nos partenaires du gouvernement provincial soient engagés à trouver un emplacement permanent qui habiterait à la fois le refuge et le sans-abri dans un centre de réchauffement. Bien que l'assistance aux personnes sans-abri soit un mandat provincial, nous reconnaissons également notre responsabilité morale de veiller à ce que nos citoyens les plus vulnérables aient accès à un environnement sûr et aux ressources nécessaires pour améliorer leurs conditions de vie. C'est pourquoi que nous restons déterminés à travailler en collaboration avec nos partenaires pour trouver des solutions durables. With the expanded capacity of the current warming center is a significant, couldn't have come at a better time, and welcome improvement. Now, providing the warm and safe environment for the homeless individuals in Bathurst, we are pleased that our provincial government partners have committed to securing a more permanent location that would house both the homeless shelter and a warming center. While it is a provincial mandate to assist homeless individuals, we recognize our moral responsibility as a municipality to ensure that our most vulnerable citizens have access to a safe environment and the resources that they need to improve their circumstances. This is why we remain dedicated to working alongside with our partners to find a solution. Between the warming center that has 12 beds and the homeless shelter, which we're at 15, which is 27 beds, I can tell you that beds are empty. Donc, on a 27 lits de disponibles, 12 lits pour le centre de réchauffement et 15 lits pour le centre d'héberge, et on a des lits de disponibles. Donc, puis le transport est emporté gratuitement. So they are picked up in the morning and dropped off. They have a hot meal when they get there in the evening, and they have breakfast in the morning as well. And then if it stays below, if the weather permits, anything over -10, they get to stay at the warming shelter. And the goal is to complete the homeless shelter first, and then the warming shelter becomes as an extra. But it is not full. Not everybody is choosing to use the services. The important thing is that the services are there. Myself, Deputy Mayor Willett, and Councillor LeBlanc are on the committee for the homeless shelter. For the last year, we've been trying to find a permanent location that would have the warming shelter and the homeless shelter with this committee. And most of all these people that will be here this Wednesday are part of our committee. So I think it's important for anybody that may have questions, not sure how the process works, to please join us Wednesday evening, and we'll be there to answer any questions you may have. Donc, tous ceux et celles qui ont des questions, qui se demandent comment ça fonctionne, ça nous ferait plaisir mercredi soir avec le comité et les gens autour de la table pour répondre aux questions. We will go to the adjournment of the meeting. Ms. Parker.
That the regular public meeting be adjourned at 8:08 p.m.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Deputy Mayor Willett, Councillor Branch. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Bonne soirée à tous. Merci d'être avec nous ce soir.